You want this light on?
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. I'll take the heat lamp. Thank you, Ruth. I'm Ryan Dunn. I'm an alcoholic.
Thank you. My bad.
You good. You good. Again, thank you for asking me to speak. I'm not out of town. I'm from here, but I can tell you about living in other towns. AA is still the same. I still got to do the same stuff if I want to stay sober and sane. My sobriety date is March 15th of 2015. I have a sponsor. He has a sponsor. He has a sponsor. I sponsor other guys. What else is there? Primary purpose groups. My home group. We meet Monday nights 7, Thursday nights at 7, 200 East New York Avenue in Southern Pines. Big First Baptist Church. I want to just skip over it, but I'll go ahead and tell you. I know I should. Monday nights, we meet in one room and then we break out. We'll do a big book to the left. Upstairs, we'll do a discussion or the tradition corresponding to the month. And then the room that we start in is a newcomer's discussion topic. On Thursday nights, it's a speaker meeting. That's my preferred. That's my favorite. I just remember what it was like being brand new and going to speaker meetings because I could always identify a little more. And I learned a lot more about myself through doing so. But, yeah, hopefully in a general way, I'm going to tell you what I was like, what happened, and what I'm like today. Nothing else really changed. The change came from within. The world still did what it did and still does what it does. But my main object is not stay drunk the whole time because I came in here at 22 and I came in here at 22 and I've been sober since. So there's a lot more drinking than not. Yeah. So basically, I grew up in a normal family to my standards. What that means is I had everything I needed, most of what I wanted. I'm the youngest out of 3. I got an older brother, older sister. They put up a little bit of trouble, but like in the grand scheme of things, they didn't put a dent in the kind of stuff that I would do. Ever since I can remember, I've always loved the spotlight. I love attention. I've always been terrified and insecure at the same time. I've always had that complex. I could even relate it to a Napoleon complex. But I've always had something in me that just didn't sit well. I had trouble kind of like, not really fitting in, but feeling like everyone else looked. As the youngest, I tend to be the one that my teachers are calling my mom about. I tend to be the one that runs from the police officers for no real reason, just to kind of have some fun. I'm the one that my mom gets the most phone calls about the most frequently. My brother and sister are pretty quiet. They're pretty smart. I guess I am as well, but mine was just really misguided. And she raised 3 kids pretty much by herself. My father, he wasn't in the picture much. When I was 7 years old, my parents divorced. And he's one of us. I mean, through and through. So like what that means for me is I don't blame him or any of my upbringing or any situation that happened in my life on me drinking the way I drink. But I will say, like, it played a role in some resentments. It played a role in kind of how I thought you should navigate things. But he wasn't there very much. And when he was there, I saw the negative effects of alcoholism long before I knew what that was. I saw what it was like when you get mean and drunk. I saw what it was like when you get drunk and don't come home. You know, I had that absence. I saw that, like, when he drinks, nothing good happens. And whenever I got the opportunity, none of that entered my brain whatsoever. Before he left, I had the opportunity to taste alcohol. He let me taste one of his beers. I was about 5 years old. It tasted terrible. It was Budweiser. I could taste, like, the Marlboro Reds on it, too. It tasted disgusting. I wanted nothing to do with it. So needless to say, I didn't get the effect produced by alcohol that day. Later on, I got another opportunity to try to drink again. My mom would collect bottles of liquor, and she's the other type of person that, like, will take one drink a year, twice a year, never finishes that drink, and sits it down and forgets it and pours it in the sink. If you're shaking your head, you're disgusted like I am. I can't stand that. I remember like getting sober and being at a restaurant and watching someone not finish their beer and get up and leave. I'm like, you are just disgusting. I don't get it. But that's something people can do. I'm not one. And she collected all these bottles of liquor, all kinds, and never drank them. So one night I figured, like, what the heck? I want to mix them up. I want to try some. If I take a little bit from any of them, like, she won't know, as if she'd know anyway. Trust me, later on I drank them all. But I was trying to be secretive. And I mixed all these liquors together, and it was like Kahula, Goldschlager, like Hypnotic, Jameson. It was a bunch of things that don't belong together, that even most alcoholics just wouldn't put together. And once again, I took about 2 sips, and that was it. That thing got poured out. That was disgusting. So, hence, I didn't get the effect produced by alcohol. I don't know where that curiosity came from, but I kept trying until I succeeded. When I finally succeeded, I was 15 years old. I was going into high school, about to turn 16. And the backstory is, basically, I was with this girl in middle school. I thought that I was going to marry her and grow old with her. For whatever reason, I thought I knew what love was in middle school. I didn't know anything else, but I knew that. And she broke my heart. And, like, it's funny to me, especially now, but, like, at the time, it was the most horrific thing that had ever happened to me. And I don't know about anyone else. I'm, like, all in or all out. So, like, I was all bummed out. I was all depressed. And what I did was I got out with some buddies. We were going to hang out, and I was like, I want to get drunk. And they were like, all right, let's get drunk. So we go over to this girl's house, and her older sister is in Fort Bragg partying with some military guys. They're coming back to drink some more. So I call them. I'm like, will someone buy me a case of beer? They buy me a case of beer, and when they get back, I proceed to drink that beer as best I can. I don't finish the case. I wanted to. What happens is, I remember after really just kind of forcing it down, I get to that third beer and, like, I feel that effect produced by alcohol. I feel that feeling that, like, I've been looking for my whole life, and basically I'm just warm all over. I feel complete. I feel free. Like, up until that point, I had never felt like I was free, like I was okay in my own skin, and, like, right then and there, I felt it, and it rushed all over me. I felt bulletproof. I felt like nothing could stop me, and I absolutely loved it. And that in between that third and fourth one, I blacked out. That would happen pretty frequently. But what I can tell you is I don't remember the rest of the night. I come to the next morning, and I'm not wearing any clothes. I'm in throw up. I'm hungover. My stomach is killing me. My head hurts. I got some, like, minor consequences going on right out the gate. And my buddies, they come over to me and they're telling me all the crazy stuff I did, all the crazy stuff I said. I was playing the guitar naked, like I don't even know how to play the guitar, that I was just, like, being a complete fool, and that I was just having the time of my life, and that they had so much fun too. And, like, all that stuff sounded good, and I remember sitting there being really frustrated that I don't remember being there, but I was there. And I'm trying to remember all the things they're telling me, because, like, to me, I'm not ashamed. That was great. That sounds wonderful. And the only thing I can remember is the way I felt. And I wanted to do that again. That would be a reoccurring theme as well. Those consequences, they just got a lot worse, a lot more lengthy, a lot more problematic, and they piled up on me. But none of them were really enough to make me stop drinking or say, hey, maybe this is a problem, I should stop. Maybe alcohol is causing some issues. They just never did that. The red flags were never there. And I can tell you after that night that I would be able to drink on occasion for a while, but it really wasn't long. It was within a few months that I'm drinking every day. And also within a few months, well, really within a few weeks, I'm getting into a bunch of other stuff. I come here as a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. I try not to talk about a bunch of other stuff, but I'm here to tell you I like it all. I like drugs. They were great. There's a lot of drugs that help you drink more. There's a lot of drugs that make you feel like you're drunk. I'm just with all of it. I'll try to leave it at that. It's also hard, too, because that was a lot of my legal issues. Granted, every single time I've ever been arrested, I've been intoxicated by alcohol. I tend to have other stuff on me or in me. Yeah. So rolling forward, from that night, I was set out to not feel the way I feel, to not be sober, pretty much. Like, that's my goal. And I'm also not someone who sits here and says alcohol is bad and no one should drink. I hope the whole world drinks, honestly. I hope if you can drink like a normal person, I will buy you some beer. If you don't, and you don't want help, I'll probably buy you a beer. Hopefully you'll get some help. But I just don't see it as a bad thing. Like, alcohol is not a bad thing. I just can't drink it like normal people. I can't handle myself when I drink alcohol. No one else should suffer. But I started getting into other stuff, and it was a lot of fun. Like, alcohol truly was a great time. I sound like a spokesperson now. Alcohol was wonderful because it did for me what I couldn't do for myself. It honestly kept me alive until it was killing me and saved my life. Because if I hadn't drank myself to the point that I did, I would never know about Alcoholics Anonymous. I would never know about the solution to all my problems. I just wouldn't. I've looked for other ways to manage my drinking, to fix me, and nothing's ever worked until I came here. So I go through high school. I didn't mention this, but prior to me getting drunk for that first time, I had like two things that I was really good at. And I remember early on always hearing about people playing baseball or football or whatever it was, and I was like, that's not me. I skateboarded. I was just riffraff. I hung out in the streets, but I absolutely loved it. I picked up a skateboard, couldn't do anything. Took me a year. When I got to that point, it just, something flipped, and I skated my whole life away. Like, every single day, that's all I thought about, that's all I obsessed about. It was my solution to life. I got pretty good at it. I really enjoyed it. And let me not forget, like, the selfish and self-centeredness of it. I noticed that I was better than other people, and I liked that, so I ran with it. And that stuff, that kind of kept me together until I got drunk. The other thing is, I've always loved art. I love drawing. I've been doing it ever since I can remember. And I've always been like, kind of pat on the back, told that I could do something with it. And I remember my second year of high school, I was offered basically a write-in to get a scholarship to go to art school. And I would be able to take some classes to prep me for that, yada, yada. But, like, I remember by that point, alcohol was just too powerful. Like, I had lost all drive for it, unless I was intoxicated. Also, by that time, I can't find that middle ground where, like, you drink enough to just be okay. Like, I drink enough to get there, and then I overshoot it every time. And I'm just too sloppy drunk to function. But art and skateboarding, that's what kept me together, and then I found alcohol. So you can imagine all that other stuff just starts getting really dull. It just gets in the way. When I was 16, I also moved out of my mom's house, mainly because I figured that she's just going to keep trying to tell me I can't drink the way I want to drink and do the things I want to do, and I'm not up for that. I used to call it ambition. I was really just prideful and dead set on anything that stands in the way of me drinking has got to go. But I would tell you that I had a lot of drive and ambition, and I'm going to do whatever I want in this world, and no one's going to tell me different. Alcohol told me different. But yeah, I moved out at 16, figured I'd just handle life on my own, like I can do that. The same dude that thought he was in love in middle school, he's about to handle everything. But I ended up leaving home, and I managed to get through high school. They kind of ushered me out. They were like, look, we'll make you a deal. You show up for the last 3 weeks, stay for this class, and you can walk the stage, and we'll be done with you. You'll be done with us. And I was like, that sounds good. I caused a lot of trouble there. And I get through high school, and what happens is I do what I do best. I meet another girl. This time, this girl doesn't drink the way I drink, and she finds out that I drink the way I drink, and it's not the best way. We had a date planned for a week after the day we were talking, and long story short, I started drinking and I started doing some other stuff, and I came to the day of that date, and she was kicking me in the ribs because I didn't call her, didn't show up, hadn't talked to her in a week. I'd pretty much been in and out for 3 days that I can recall. And yeah, it was a bad scene. By the way, we had been together 3 weeks, so once again, I knew this was love. And she gave me an ultimatum. She said, it's either me or the party. And since we had been together 3 weeks, I was like, all right, I choose you. I really meant that, though. I really wanted to stop doing what I was doing. And I really wanted to be a decent person. I never wanted to be a bad person, you know. I just start drinking. I can't tell you what I'm going to do and where I'm going to end up, unfortunately. And I made I took that oath and made her a promise. And I think that's important for me because, like, I did stay sober for 11 months. We're going to call it dry because it was the worst 11 months of my entire life. But for whatever reason, I meant it that time, and I stopped for 11 months. Later, when I would try to stop, that would not be the case. But I went 11 months, and it was pretty terrible. There was no solution. I had basically voluntarily gave up the only thing that worked for me in hopes that something else would fill that void. I'm here to tell you that she did not fill that void, nor did anything else I'm about to tell you about. I tried to clean up the outsides the best I could. I wasn't doing anything. I was actually just basically hustling in the streets. That's another thing I enjoyed doing because that way I make my own money. I don't clock in. I don't get told what to do by anyone. And I get to drink as much as I want. I can afford to do the things I want to do. And what happened is I kept doing that stuff, but I'm completely dry. I tried to fix the outsides. I went back to school. I went to be a culinary chef. I got a few jobs. Figured I had some time now. Wasn't drinking, so I was working like 3 jobs, basically part-time, more so just using their places of work to do what I do. And went back to school, had a lot of money, more money than I have today, I assure you. Just looked for the material world to handle all my problems. I remember getting like my dream car and just redoing the engine, spending all this money. I remember going shopping all the time, just getting all these things that I wanted that I could never have when I was a kid because my mom was taking care of 3 kids. Doing all this stuff, and every time I was just hoping it would make me feel better. That was literally it. I just wanted to feel okay. I want to feel better. I don't want to be miserable. And none of it worked. None of the clothes, none of the money, not the car, not the girl. I was just, not only was I miserable internally, everyone that had to spend any time around me got that as well. You know, I enjoyed making other people miserable. I wasn't fun to be around. One night we get an invite. She wants to go to her friend's house. They're having a party. She wants to have a drink. I tell her that's a bad idea for me to have a drink. She rewords it and basically says, like, you've been a real jerk. I think you should unwind. Please have a drink with me. And, man, the internal was saying, thank God, because I've been waiting for this drink. Like anything was stopping me, but I've been waiting for this. And the internals also tell me, like, well, she asked for it, so I can blame it all on her. I mean, I feel like that goes without saying, but, like, my whole life I've blamed everyone for my problems. I've never taken the accountability for the things I do, say, or feel. And, yeah, I just use that as an excuse. But it doesn't go the way I planned, like normal. We do have a drink. She doesn't want another. Crazy. She ends up talking to some friends and going to bed. I end up having another drink with some buddies that I saw there. I go back to have another drink with myself. I find someone else to have a drink with me. Within 20 minutes, I I've stolen 2 bottles of liquor. I'm in the bathroom. I'm locking the door. I'm slamming one down. I'm putting one under the sink for later, and I black out. Just like that. That is one of the more vivid memories I have. Other than that, I remember coming to that night. It's dark. We were going to bed. I was going to bed. And I just remember her crying. I don't know what I said. I don't know what I did. I just know that that's how I went to sleep. I was back in full force. From there, a quick timeline is basically within the next week, I proceed to burn down every bridge that I can that gets in the way of me drinking the way I want to drink. That girl that I promised I would quit because I thought that was going to be the one who saved me, I broke up with her. I had no use for her. I ended up totaling that car. I didn't even go get any. I didn't go get it from the impound or anything. Like, I just wrote it off. Like, I don't need it. Started burning through that money pretty fast. I ended up leaving that program in school. I was in the middle of finals. So, like, I had taken one, and I had, like, 3 more coming up. And I just remember, like, I walked out one day. I just didn't want to do it anymore. Like, that was it. No warning, no nothing. Like, anything that was in the way had to go. I remember going into 2 of those jobs and saying, hey, I quit. I'm not coming back. Thanks, but no thanks. One I didn't even show up at, and I just started drinking again. Like, that's pretty much what I look like in a nutshell. When I start, I really don't know when I'm going to stop. I don't know the results. When I don't have it in me, I'm miserable, I'm uncomfortable, and I hate life. I mean, it's just been like that. After that, that's when the real, like, trying to manage and maintain starts happening. And it looks like, you know, I drank with the intent that, like, I would be able to feel free again. I was looking for that feeling one more time, and it didn't happen for me. What happened for me is I'm back to battling that beast of, I don't want to keep doing this, but I can't stop doing this. I'm doing it every day. By this time, I should also say, like I said earlier, I got a lot of legal consequences, a lot of legal trouble piled up on me. And up until this point, I was able to pay it all off. I was able to get the lawyers I wanted, do what I want to do, not show up to court. That stuff runs out too. When I drink, I don't go up, I go down. And so does everything else around me. And yeah, it just gets worse and worse. I'm starting to have to do, like, extra stuff. I've been on and off probation since 15, and, like, if that's not a sign that I can't manage my own life, I don't know what is. That I had probation officers, judges, cops, everyone else trying to manage it, and they couldn't even do it. So I start trying to kind of slim back. I start trying to change things. I remember trying to stop drinking whiskey and just start drinking beer. You know, maybe getting like a 12-pack. And I get a 12-pack and I go get more. I remember specifically, this is my favorite one, I remember trying to just smoke weed. Lay off everything else and just smoke weed. Like, that sounded great. I've tried that one like 30 times. And every single time I get really thirsty and I want whiskey and I drink and I'm gone again. It wasn't hard for me to tell you that, like, I have a problem with, like, narcotics and stuff. Like, that stuff's bad. That stuff's not legal. I keep getting in trouble because I got that stuff on me. But it was really difficult to sit there and tell someone, I've got a problem drinking and I need help. I don't know why. Every time I got arrested, I denied being drunk, yet I was blown to the gills. When I walked into detox, I didn't tell them how much I actually drank. Every time I had to go to an alcohol class, not a drug class, an alcohol class, I would lie about how much I drank. And, like, for the most part, I really believed what I was saying. Like, I believe it when I say I just drink like 2 or 3 glasses, not like 2 or 3 pints or what have you, or fifths, whatever it is that day. And I believe the stuff that I say. I'm a salesman at heart. I'm trying to sell it. And for me, it just doesn't get any better. No matter how many times I try to change the brand, no matter how many times I try to change the substance, no matter how many times I try to just do something else, nothing works. I end up drinking. I end up getting drunk. So anything else in between that is I try to fix myself 900 times and I can't do it. I try to look into alternate methods. Religion was one, and it didn't cut it for me. I didn't understand it. Other than that, it just got really messy. What happens is more legal consequences start piling up when I can't do and say what I say I'm going to do. By the time I'm 21, I get arrested for trying to evade a roadblock. I didn't have my own car. I wasn't even sure if I had a license at the time. Come to find out I did, because they didn't charge me. And basically I had someone else's 98 Ford Explorer, and I saw a roadblock and I turned around and I tried to outrun 5 state troopers. I lost very fast. I gave up. It's probably one of the smartest things I've ever done. I pulled over aggressively and I hopped out and I said, "You win." They did not like it. They treated me accordingly. I got hit with a bunch more charges because basically I was going to go get some stuff to help me drink longer, and I had that stuff on me at that time. Don't know why I was doing that. I think it was just kind of like a divine intervention. But that happened. I went to jail, and all was well till I came to the next day, and then I was panicking. At first it was like, thank God I can't do any more damage. I come to the next day, I'm like, I need to get out of here. I can't do nothing. I get out. My mom comes and picks me up. By the way, I told you I moved out at 16, but in this gap, I've probably seen her maybe a total of 4 times. I've been inebriated every single time. Normally it's around the holidays. I don't call and say, "Hey, how are you? Miss you, love you." I don't treat anyone else with any type of respect. Only if you're there and I can use you for something are you worthy. And that's a sad way to live. But I called my mom expecting her to come bail me out of jail, and she's like, "Nah, you can sit there." And I was like, "All right, well, I guess I'll sit here." She wound up coming anyway. It's just what they do, I guess. And when she got me out, I made a promise to her once again, round 2, like, I'm done for good, for all. Like, I know what to do. I know what's right. Along with my mom raising us, like, my grandparents had a lot to do with raising us, and they taught me what's right, what's wrong. Yes, ma'am, no, sir. Like, how to be a decent person. So I know what to do. I have knowledge, and I just can't do it. But I had that oath one more time, and I meant it. Like, if you had put me on a lie detector test, or you put me in front of a panel of judges, I would have sworn on any book, whatever, like, I'm not drinking ever again. Within 3 hours, I'm drunk. I went over to my brother, someone passed me a beer, and I opened it, like, game over. And I remember being so pissed that I would do that. I didn't understand why I would do this. Knowing what I know, having felt and done what I've done, why would I do this again? In the book, there's a line that says, well, what's the use anyhow? And, like, that's exactly how I felt. So I proceeded to drink, and I'm off again. Life did not get any better, and I eventually get in a lot more trouble, and now I just can't show up, and the probation officer says I'm coming to your house, which is AKA my mom's house, because I'm not welcome anywhere else. I'm not there, and I tell her, like, I'm going to be there, and I mean it, but then I take a drink and I don't show up. She tells me when to come in, and I say, all right, I'll be there. And the day before, whatever reason, I take a drink and I don't show up. So I get a bunch more charges. Now the police are looking for me. And yeah, I just go on a good spree. Before I go on that spree, this is probably my last real drunk story. I stayed drunk the whole time. Sorry, guys. What happens is I'm unemployable. I've got no money. I'm at my mom's house. By this point, I wake up every single morning. I'm sick. If I don't get something in me, I'm not going to accomplish anything. And I typically have this game plan in my head. Like, I'm a good pyramid scheme thinker. Like, I'm 40 steps ahead of myself, and got these great intentions. And I remember telling myself, I just got to find some money, go get 240s, come back, fill out job applications. I can turn this all around. I'm like, man, if I could write them all down. I'm notorious for these, like, great speeches, and I'm ready to change the world. I'm ready to do this. And, like, I got it, and I mean it. And I take a drink, and I don't do any of it. And I don't know what I'm going to do. But I can't find any money. I don't have money. I wind up going into this, like, playroom, and I start pouring money out of this little piggy bank. And long story short, my nephew at the time is 2. Turns out that's his college fund, and I'm stealing money from a 2-year-old to go get drunk. Like, I remember that, and I talk about that because at that point I remember pouring out tears over that piggy bank because, like, I know right now without a doubt, nothing in my mind, I can't stop even if I wanted. Like, nothing is more powerful than this. I can't do it. And I'm disgusted. And I proceeded to go get those 40s, and all those grand things I was going to come back and do to turn this day around, I can't do. By this point, alcohol does not calm my nerves like it used to. It doesn't quiet the voices that I wake up to every morning, the endless tapes of obsessions of shame, guilt, and remorse. Alcohol does not mask that anymore. I can't achieve that drunk anymore unless I'm blacked out, passed out. And I don't have a job, so that's pretty hard to do. You got to do a bunch of grimy things to get that. That's my everyday Groundhog's Day situation. Who can I rob? Where can I get a drink? And then just go. Also, at this point, I wake before I go to sleep, like, I'm praying, like, to a God that I show no respect or mercy to. Like, please don't wake me up. Like, I'm tired of doing this. I'm tired of hurting the people I love. I'm tired of killing myself. I'm too scared to just kill myself. Please don't wake me up. And it never works. Keep waking up. So, I don't go back. I drink. I'm too guilty. And I run, and I just keep drinking. I wind up in a detox, more regional, and I've got nothing going for me. I've got no life to, like, walk out to. I'm probably about to go to prison, and things suck. For me, what happens is 2 guys come in from Alcoholics Anonymous, and they sit down and they share their stories. And I've always been told what to do, you know, the right thing to do. I've always been told what I need to do, but I've never heard anyone talk about themselves and relate so much. I've never had someone tell my story up until that point, and I heard it clearly. I was skeptical, but I heard it, and I was interested. And I asked one of those guys, like, will that work for me? What do I got to do? What's that look like? He told me about joining Alcoholics Anonymous. He told me about getting a home group, getting a sponsor, going through the steps, and sharing that with someone else. He also told me I might want to go to treatment because he asked me what I was doing when I left there, and I was like, I'll probably turning myself in and going to prison. He's like, why don't you try this treatment center, give him a call, and see what happens. I wind up in a treatment center for 29 days, and I can't credit them for my sobriety, but, like, I can tell you that there was a big assistance in the fact that they introduced me to what Alcoholics Anonymous would look like. They took me to meetings as soon as I got there. They brought meetings in. They gave me my first big book, and they allowed me to walk through the first 5 steps. Before I left, I took a 5th step with someone I'd never met. And when I left there, by that point, when I had left, I had started to have some sort of, not, I don't want to call it an awakening, but, like, there was something there. I was a lot less doubtful than I was. And all, like, the legal stuff I tell you about, I'm not sure what got me here other than divine intervention, but I can tell you there's a lot of things looking back that played a role. Part of it's not wanting to go to prison. Part of it's not wanting to die. But I don't recall any of it at first being, I don't want to drink, if that makes sense. And what happens is I started taking suggestions when I got there. I started trying to be of service when I got there. I just started doing things that I didn't want to do. Man, my life started to get better even there. I didn't have much to worry about then. And I can promise you life has gotten a lot more full. And there's a lot more responsibilities. But I did things I didn't want to do at first. I remember leaving there, going to Dunn, North Carolina. I didn't want to do that. They told me that was a good place for me to be. I took their suggestion, and my life got better. I did what other people told me to do, and every single time, my life got better. It never got worse. I used to not do what anyone told me, and my life always got worse. You can see the resemblance there. So I go to Dunn. What I can tell you about Dunn, North Carolina is there's not a lot going on. I stayed in the halfway house for a year. I really enjoyed it. I met a lot of good people. I saw a lot of people die to this thing. Went to a bunch of funerals. And when I first got there, I joined a home group, and I got a sponsor. He was also a part of that home group. There wasn't a lot I could do according to their structure at first, but they let me come in and make coffee. I would go there with my sponsor. We would read through that book. We would go back through those steps and take those steps. Read the book line for line, word for word. Do what it says when it says do it. I remember taking my third step in the back of my first home group building, and that place has a special place in my heart. And I remember not really feeling some crazy burning bush. But my sponsor asked me what I thought this meant. And I was like, I don't know. I just said the prayer. He's like, well, basically, you just said, I'm going to go through the rest of the steps. And I was like, yeah, I can do that. That's simple. Thank God he, really simplified this thing for me, because I wanted to complicate every single thing like I'd do anything. And we went through the steps pretty quick. And I started helping other guys, immediately. It just happened. In between this time, for me, what happens is all the things that I would normally, sweat and worry about were just being taken care of. For example, I got there with a terrible record. I needed a job. Turns out if you, fill out job applications and you pray about it and you keep doing what you can in AA, you get an opportunity, whatever that looks like. That's been my experience. I ended up getting an opportunity to work with some guys and doing some landscaping, and then someone else asked me if I wanted a job. I guess I was out looking for it, but at the same time, when I stopped and I focused on how I can be of service, these things started falling in my lap. I don't remember being all right, now that I'm here, I've got to buy a car so I can go to work. I never thought about that. I don't know why. And I remember one day I started sponsoring another guy, and some guy came up to me and he was like, hey, you want to buy my car? I'll help you. I'll let you make payments. And I was like, this is crazy. Why would I not do this? I didn't ask for it. I look back, it's pretty much every time that I just submerge myself in Alcoholics Anonymous and trying to be useful, things started to work out. I thought less of myself, and I guess that's really the key. But it felt like everything just fell in place. I left that halfway house. I stayed in Dunn for a few more years. I stayed active in that home group. By that point, I was a lot more of service because of sobriety requirements. I started going to a prison, and that's probably my favorite form of service I've ever done, because the prison that we got allowed to go into was a maximum security. And they already had a group established in there of Alcoholics Anonymous. They had their own books, they had their own literature. They donated their own money for coffee, for everything, and sent money to GSO. It was a fully functioning AA group like we're at right now in a prison, and the members there were never leaving. They were there for life. That's where they're going to die. 3 specific individuals were happier than anyone I've ever met. Man, it was magical. And I enjoyed going to see those guys. But what happens for me is I meet someone, and I move to Raleigh, and she's with us now. It's my wife. I didn't ask her to marry me after 3 weeks. I waited a little longer. It wasn't long, though. It wasn't 3 weeks. But what happened for me is like I was just really busy doing what I've always done. Like I wasn't looking for a partner. I just kept doing AA the way I thought I should and trying to help other guys through the book. And I meet my wife. Simple stuff like that. I moved to Raleigh. As soon as I get to Raleigh, before I get to Raleigh, I already know where my home group's going to be, yada, yada. Like I joined another home group. I start going there and I ask what I can do. Like I get involved in service every single time. I start going to some detoxes, start going to some facilities. And yeah, that's just where I get it. That's where I'm the closest to God, is when I'm working with another alcoholic, when I'm sharing this message with other alcoholics. I love my life and I love everything I get to do with it. But like, that's when I'm closest to God. And I take that wherever else I go. For me, I just kept doing the deal, so to speak. Just tried to help new guys, look for newcomers, and share the message. We ended up moving to Fayetteville, North Carolina. It's crazy. Leave Raleigh, go to Fayetteville. Neither of us were on board. Basically, she got an opportunity, a new job opportunity. And just like every other time I've had to go somewhere, I didn't want to do it. And we ended up praying about it, and we ended up going, and I absolutely loved it. I probably miss it the most. And what happens there, you can guess it. Like, I get another home group, and I immediately ask what I can do. Start being of service. Go to another facility. Go to another detox. I don't talk about all that stuff because, like, look at me, that's great stuff. I talk about it because, like, that's what I need. I don't like just going to meetings. I don't like just being someone who takes up a seat. It's not for me. If I can do that, I'm sure, but, like, I'm going to be miserable at some point. I'm going to be more selfish than normal at some point. When I wake up in the mornings, I'm not glittery. I'm not a joy. You can ask my wife. I'm not thrilled about the day, but like I get to pray and thank God that I woke up and that I'm not in the same position that I was in over 6 years ago, where I did not want to wake up. I get to spend some time with God. I go to work every day like a normal person, and like I get to be useful there. Don't always want to be there. Don't always agree with everyone there. Pretty much every day I disagree with most people there. But like I do what I'm supposed to do. I do what they tell me to do. And everything works out. Like nothing blows up. If I was meant to run the place, I'd run it. Plain and simple. Whenever we got to Fayetteville, I joined Alcoholics Anonymous again. I stayed in touch. We ended up leaving there because we got a good opportunity. Dang. We got a really good opportunity that we couldn't refuse. We had gotten married, and we had a kid on the way. And my grandparents had passed away, and basically we got the opportunity to finish paying off their house and move back home next to my family, and we went for it. What I can tell you is when you're in Moore County and you're from Moore County, if you've done the things I've done, you drank the way I drank, you see a lot of people you've done wrong. A whole lot. Every day, everywhere you go. In Walmart, like you name it. And it's really cool that like I don't have to like stress that. I don't have to look over my shoulder and worry about that kind of stuff. Because for the most part, most people I've made peace with. And now I'm in a position to make more peace. Like I said, must be God's work. Must be slack on the mends. He showed me a guy today, and I was like, I'm going to have to call that guy. I'm going to have to call him and go make an amends to him. But we moved back home, and like, man, I got this really beautiful life right now. Like, God's given me this. I don't have to take credit for it. But like, we've got a beautiful son. He's 10 months old, 11 months old. He's about to turn a year. Like, dude was born 8 minutes before my birthday, like the greatest gift ever. I love him to death. I have a beautiful wife. We have a home. We don't rent an apartment. It's crazy. We still have a lot of money. I'm like, oh, I thought that was supposed to change when you stop renting. But like, nonetheless, we got everything we need. We got most of what we want. It's crazy. I never thought I'd be in the position I'm in. I try to show up at my home group. I get to be the GSR. I get to participate in business meetings, see what's going on in the committees, and most importantly, go to detoxes, share the message, do CIT trainings, whatever someone or AA asks me to do, I try to do it. Plain and simple, and like everything else will fall into place. And my life's good. I do most of the same things I did when I got here. I pray, I try to help others, and I try to be useful. That's how I stay sane. That's how I stay sober. Other than that, I can tell you is I got a really full life. I don't know how much anything else could fit in there, and if it does, I won't be surprised. Like, God keeps doing it, and I'm just here to enjoy it. So thank you guys for letting me share.